Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It is a nice one. Finally. We are out here on legendary Mille Lacs. Took a little poking around. We found us a couple. A little bit shallower than we first thought, but that is a clue. Could be the start to a good day. That is a big one. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Gosh. Look at that one. That is a take on the old Fluffy. We just got a bunch of different baits rigged up on the deck here. We're just gonna give you guys a rundown on finding smallmouth on Mille Lacs Lake. This is one of the most impressive lakes in the country. We're just gonna find some smallmouth today. Give you guys a little rundown on the program here on Mille Lacs Lake. There we go. On the jerk, it's a nice one. That's why it's important smallmouth fishing, just keeping a bunch of rods on the deck. Threw the Fluffy at that one a couple times and just went slow rolling the jerk by him and boop. Just keeping, look how he's got it. Piped. Gosh, it's so fun. It's one of the things I love about smallmouth. They can just be so particular sometimes. It can also be a little frustrating, but it's so cool playing that game of cat and mouse with smallmouth of, gosh, I might need the pliers for this one. Oh, there it goes. Playing that game of cat and mouse. That's a nice one. It's so much fun messing with different baits, keeping a bunch of different rods on the deck. It's one of the things I just love about it, just cycling through rods, trying to find what works. We've definitely found the areas that they're hanging out in, and now it feels like we're maybe starting to crack the code here a little bit. Another one. He's not too big. But seems we've found a little bait here. That's that little minnow presentation. Smallmouth, a lot of times when they're shallow, that's just one of those things that they just are constantly chewing, whether it's perch, little shiners, a little plump one, a little better than I thought he was. Perch, little shiners, just bait fish imitating baits. They're just so good for smallmouth. Again, all times of the year, spring, summer, fall, late fall. It seems to always kind of change exactly what they're feeding on, but a lot of times smallmouth, that is just one of those things where it just drives them nuts. There's definitely times where they get super zoned in on bugs or super zoned in on crayfish, but there's just something too, again, like swim baits, minnow-style baits, those bait fish imitating baits, they just always play. You just gotta have them in the boat, gotta have them on the deck all times of year when smallmouth fishing, especially on Mille Lacs. So let's take a little bit of a bird's eye view at the cockpit here of exactly what we're fishing. We're right along a big flat here. This flat has a couple of high spots. You can see that there's some good breaks in here. So let's just take an idle down this just to show you guys exactly what we're looking for. You can set this highlighting to where, again, I kind of know like these dark oranges, boom, I know that's that 8 to 10 foot range right now. So that's what I'm looking for, those dark oranges that we're coming up on here. As you can see, we're in 11 something feet. We're coming up on this flat here, just coming down the edge of this break. And this whole thing is really gorgeous. So there I have my mapping to where I can see, you know, those areas that I'm looking for. Again, these smallmouth right now, they want to be in 8 to 10, 11, 12 feet, somewhere in there. So let's take a look over here at the sonar side of things. I have my side imaging, then I have my down imaging, and just my good old 2D sonar. I like having that 3-pane for the 2D sonar. I like having that for seeing the bottom hardness. That really gives you a good return of whether it's soft bottom, hard bottom. Then for my DI, I can really see detail. I can see individual rocks. I can even see fish on DI. So that's where I really get that really good detail right below the boat. And then my SI. This is the big player for, again, breaking down a lake, covering water. I can see right now I have it set to 90. Anywhere from 90 to 100 is pretty good for breaking down a piece of water. And I can see out 90 feet, both sides of the boat. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. What we're looking for, isolated structure. Boulder that's taller than the rest, I'm gonna catch one there. So I'm gonna drop a pin, boom, red. I can pick my icons too. I'm just gonna do a red boulder, boom. See it pop up on Lake Master there. Now we get to go spin the boat around and catch a couple. Wow, that is big. That's a nice one. On the old hair again. Just creeping around. Really starting to catch them on a couple different baits here. Not giant, but that's a pretty good one. Crazy how good this place is, and that's a nice one out here right now. Such a cool place. Oh, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Man, that clear water. Just having a couple different baits. There's definitely fish that seem to be in all kinds of moods. Some fish catching them on moving baits, some fish on bottom baits. That is a nice one. Sweet. Look at that one. They're so dang pretty too. Let's get her back. So just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown, up close look at exactly what we're fishing, what we're talking about when we talk about isolated structure, talking about these edges. As you can see here, the 360 is starting to ping. We're getting that good image, boat sitting still here, right there. You can see that's what we're talking about when we talk about isolated structure. A good boulder, and look how perfectly that is set up. Right down this line of rocks, you can see there that darker return means softer bottom. Starts to get real hard here. We get that good hard sand and then a good rock edge. That's where we're throwing the swim bait, the hair down, just dragging it down those edges, targeting, stuff like that. We're gonna put a mark on that. Pretty stuff like that, where you get that nice isolated boulder like that. That is the juice, man. Another one up there. You can actually even see a fish sitting on the backside of that. Look at that, crazy. We're gonna mark that. Boom. Now I got that mark right there on my map, and boom, you can see on Mega Live there, that's that boulder that we just marked, and there he is. You can see the fish on the back. I mean, how nuts is that? Everything right there, that whole system together, seeing these lines, these edges of the hard bottom to soft bottom is huge when locating smallmouth. They love little transition zones like that. They love things that are different, but at the same time, that good isolated structure, that good little mix today is definitely what they're using. So that's just an up close look here on the Mega Live and on the 360, as well as our mapping of just the areas that we're finding these smallmouth today. Uh-oh. It's another nice one. Choked the little swimmer. Oh my gosh. They are all just big ones out here. Oh, this place is nuts. Gosh. Just mixing up different baits. Definitely found the magic sauce here today. Definitely the isolated structure. That one there is another tank. Oh my gosh. Little mare in the beak. Just slow rolling that swim bait by a little boulder up shallow here. Dumke. Gosh, that's a big one. Let's let her go. It's just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what's really been our top baits today. Again, we came out with just a bunch of different rods on the deck because you just really never know when it comes to smallmouth what's going to be the deal. But we've been catching them pretty darn good on for sure 3 baits today. In my hand right now is just a little swim bait, just a little 3-inch mare on an 1/8 ounce head, just slowly dragging this by these boulders, these little transition lines, and just casting that swim bait about 20-30 feet past them, and even just fan cast a swim bait to really break down these areas. But when you're fishing an isolated structure like this, using the 360 and the Mega Live to get a line up, just cast them past it and just slow dragging that swim bait. It is such a dangerous weapon for smallmouth. There's something to that, just especially on a light head like this, that little swim bait just doo, 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 right by their head, just drives them nuts. They just whack this thing. Throwing it on a 7.4 medium light. I like that little bit longer rod. Again, if I'm trying to cover water, if I'm on a big flat like we are now, looking for, you know, the next little bit of structure, if I just get to the lake, I'm trying to break it down, having that long rod where I can really, I mean, that's a bomb cast, a little 1/8 ounce on there. So having that longer rod to really send that swim bait really can help, especially breaking down areas. And then for the line, just a 8-pound braided line to a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. That 12-pound is nice, especially fishing around boulders like this and fishing around rocks. This can be some pretty wicked stuff. So a 12-pound pounce fluorocarbon, really good line. And then for that little minnow, again, just a pretty typical minnow setup. Just a 7, I got one. Just thumping. Oh, it is nice. It's nice. Look at her jumping in that clear water. Come on. Come on. Just bumping the little swim bait around in the rocks. Look at it. Come here. Come here. Oh, come on. Whew. Look at how pretty they are. Gosh. Oh, and that little head just pins them, man. It is I mean, come on. Exactly what you want. Is a gorgeous one. Man, just running through baits. It is so much fun. Chase around smallmouth up shallow. This setup, I say little minnow, you really could use this for all sorts of things. This is a really good, just all-around rod. Good for minnows, tubes, Ned rigs. You could do a ton with a rod like this. Everyone at least has at least one of these, just a 7.1 medium, somewhere in that range. Again, super versatile rod. You can throw, again, little minnows like this on light heads. I could throw a big 1/4 ounce head with a big 6-inch minnow, everywhere in between. And same thing, 8-pound braid, 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. That's really what I run, I would say 90% of the time on spinning rod setups. That's just, it's such a tough combo to beat. Even on a lake like this where they're pressured, it's clear water. I don't try and buy into it too much of, you know, trying to use super light line. I don't like leaving baits in fish's mouths and breaking them off. So using a little bit heavier fluorocarbon leader, we're catching them just as good. It's nice rather than throwing a bottom bait on those ones to where you kind of suck them down to bottom. Sometimes that works for sure, don't get me wrong. But having that minnow, just keeping it above them and just pulling it away, works really well. Plus I can also work this bait really slow too. Definitely catching some, just keeping this super tight to the boulders, tight to these breaks, to the point where I'm just getting my line up on 360, make my cast, and I'll just sit here and just work that bait, and all of a sudden, thunk. Pretty darn fun, but that is another really effective bait for smallmouth. Again, spring, summer, fall, it don't matter. You gotta have a minnow on. And last, certainly not least, this is a killer for conditions like we have today. When it's flat, calm, clear water, the old hair jig, such a killer for smallmouth. Just again, making bomb casts, reeling that bait just super slow. Again, it's another effective search bait for up shallow on these flats, trying to find some fish. But also, again, when I find that good gravel line, something that's different, something that's isolated, I can just drag that hair jig through, slow reeling it, keeping it right above the rocks, and those smallmouth just lose their mind on it. They love this little thing. It's so good for smallmouth. Those are just the baits that today have definitely seemed to be the outliers. We've been catching the snot out of them on these. But again, we got a deck full of baits. We got jerk baits. We've been catching them on jerk baits. We got bottom dragging baits. We've caught a few on that. We've caught them on everything today. Again, that's one of the just awesome things about smallmouth fishing, having a bunch of rods on the deck, cycling through them and finding what works. It's a blast just picking apart, putting that puzzle together. Gosh, that one whacked it. And would you looky there? It's another nice one. Up in like 8-10 feet of water. Again, all these boulders. I think a lot of these fish are getting ready to spawn or been done spawning. We've definitely seen plenty. It's far enough along in the year where there's lots that are done. Some are just starting. A little bit of everything. And it's another nice one. Look at that mayor just folded up in there. Catching them on all kinds of different baits today. And that is what I love about smallmouth fishing. Figuring out the little specifics of what they want to sit on. Once you get that dialed in, mixing up a handful of different baits, catching big chunky ones like that out on Mille Lacs. Does it get any better? No, it does not. I love it.